Welcome back to the PSN Commanders Network. It's your boy Tone, aka Tech, and I am back with another video. I have a special guest right here. We're gonna get right into it. Yeah, AGTG, all glory to God. And I thank him for another wonderful day. But we have a wonderful special guest. You may introduce yourself, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me, and love that you started your show giving glory to our Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ, I do the same thing each and every morning when I wake up. And so excited to be here and talk football with you. It's great to be here with your listeners. I am Kelsey Nicole Nelson, a DC-based sports journalist, but I cover sports all over, talking all things that you guys like to talk about: analyst work, reporter work, host work. You name it, I've done it. It's been a blast. Born and bred here in the DC area, so DC sports is my love. Get to talk about that for a living, as well as on a national spectrum. So doing all things now, NBA playoffs, and of course WNBA season kicking off. Shout out to the Mystics who kicked off their open training camp practice today. Then I teach at George Washington University, so actually preparing for my fall sports writing class. So that's what my summer is going to be, and rounding out this semester with my GW students, which has been a blast. And I have my own businesses. I'm a business owner, which has been a blast to work again in media and communications with so many different people and the entrepreneurship journey. And I hope everyone listens to my podcast each week on Fox Sports Radio, listening with KNN. So I'm a little bit everywhere, but as long as it touches sports, I'm probably there. Sit on a couple sports boards. Yeah, my life is sports and education, essentially.
I can rock with it. So yeah. Y'all go tune on Fox Sports Radio for okay.
Yes, listen to my show. It's awesome.
Go listen to this beautiful woman over there. Go listen to it. She knows what she's talking about. She definitely does.
I do.
I don't get to tune in often. When I do, she knows what she's talking about. Yeah, she's true to this, not new to this. Exactly. So Yeah, you definitely know what you're talking about. Not here nor there.
I appreciate you. I've been in the trenches with the fellas, so
Yeah, for sure. So, what made you get into it? Actually, like in kind of sports reporting and stuff like that. What made you? Like, were you always a sports fanatic, or was it like
literally always? Always. Shout out to Jim Nelson, my father. I grew up in this sports family. My dad is like a historian by nature and knows all things sports. And essentially, since my dad went to Grambling State University, you cannot be the daughter of a Gramblinite and not know sports. I mean, sports is that's most people's first introduction, especially to HBCU sports, right? The Bayou Classic and SWAC. And that's essentially the world I grew up in. And, all my aunts went to Jackson State University. So when you have a Southern Black family, sports is going to be sports and church and God. And
Amen to that. Amen to that.
You grow up with. And essentially that was me. And then of course, growing up here in the DMV area, I grew up, when Maryland basketball was at an all-time high, and, when Maryland won the championship, and of course, Georgetown and Hoya Paranoia, and, going to Wizards games at their kind of height, which is hard to think about now with this past season that the Wizards had. And of course, grew up going to Ravens games, and even when the then Redskins, of course, right, were like the talk of the town when it was in Burgundy and Gold Town. So also just the DMV love here. If you grew up in the DMV, I don't know how you don't touch sports. I played sports at a bunch of different places, and I just knew it's kind of always where I wanted to be. It was my happy place. Sports have always been my happy place, and I've loved journalism and connecting an audiences and people to a larger story.
Yeah, I definitely love that. Kind of backstory. I kind of met Kelsey in the most weird way.
Shout out to University of Maryland. You're the turtle.
We met each other outside. It was outside cutting like some young fools supposed to be doing, and we kept in touch ever since.
Smart fools. Look, come on now. We were in college getting our business done.
It was cutting up too, but none of us. We definitely having a good old time. But yeah, so. I've seen Kelsey's entire journey from
the whole journey
to now being this wonderful reporter. So yeah, I'm definitely proud of you, Kelsey. You're doing
that means so much. Thank you.
It's for sure.
You saying that means so much to me because people will see what you do now, and it's really been a journey. I'm so thankful, believe me, for every step of the way. But it's been adversity, it's been ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I'm still here. And I continue to rise, and I rose, and I'm just thankful, that God has continued to lead me on the path that I so love. And thanks to all you all for following me and being fans and giving me a platform and love and support to do what I love each and every day.
Facts. So that's the backstory on Kelsey. So I want to go ahead and check her on Fox Sports Radio, follow all her socials. I would try to put in the description something I'll try making a pinned comment so you guys can go ahead and check her out for sure. Check out our social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call the freaking thing now. Everything. All our stuff, I'll try to put it in the description for you guys so you can go check her out. But we're going to get to what actually we came here to talk about, which is our wonderful Washington Commanders, formerly known Redskins, whatever you want to call them, Redskins football team Commanders. I don't know. Whatever you want to call this franchise, okay? And we had a very interesting draft haul over the weekend. 9 picks, 9 selections.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting players that came in, especially our new franchise quarterback.
Oh, you're using franchise already. All right.
I mean, you pick a number 2 overall.
But I love it.
I mean, he's done that like until he proves he's not that.
We're tired of all these broken relationships with quarterbacks. So we're hoping
my guy Rio Robinson, he literally he had a video today talking about the Jayden Daniels era being here.
Ooh,
and he listed all the quarterbacks before Jayden. We're tired of the Carson Wentz's, we're tired of Sam Howell's, we're tired of Patrick Ramsey's, the Marshall Mills, the Robert Griffin III's, and I love Kirk Cousins. Kirk is my guy, but you gotta go on this list too. You want
Kirk better watch out too, though. He's got a quarterback itching for his place too. If he's trying to be a franchise.
Yeah, woo! I don't want to talk about that one. The Atlanta Falcons. I don't want to talk about them right now. No. Yes. Kirk, keep your eye out.
Play well, Kirk. Play well.
Yeah. Kirk is fine. Kirk be just fine. But yeah, Kirk Cousins of the world. Shane Matthews, the Tony Banks, all the foolishness, the Tim Couches of the world, we're tired of it. We want a franchise quarterback. I just hope that Jayden Daniels is that.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on Jayden Daniels, actually?
Well, first, I absolutely love Mama Daniels, giving us our theme song at the draft, the left hands up. Who are we?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, fact.
When mom has bought into the team, you're in good hands, because we know a lot of these players are mama's boys. But I'm excited. I have said, and you can fact check it, I have said Jayden Daniels needs to be here. I know there's a lot of talk around Drake May. I really do think, and I still hold true to this, that I do think Drake May would have been another reincarnation of Sam Howell, which Washington did not need. I think in Jayden Daniels will get a dual threat quarterback. I know there are questions about his size, and people keep telling me he's thin, and I'm like, oh, but there was a guy in Baltimore who was thin when he started, and he's some of y'all favorite quarterbacks right now. Yes, Lamar Jackson. So I'm not even worried about him being thin. I think he is dynamic. I think he can create plays. I know there's been talk about what to do with him, playing him in the shotgun, because obviously he can get it done on his legs, and really surprise defenses. So all in all, to say, I'm excited for him. Obviously, need him to be protected, because I don't care how good you are. If you're not protected, you're not going to be good. Sam Howell just finished here in Washington being the most sacked quarterback. I do not want Jayden Daniels to have that same stat after his first year here in Washington. But I think it's promising. I think this is the most excited that fans have been in a while, for a quarterback that they feel like they can
2012. I think 2012 was the last time.
Yeah, that they feel that they can believe in. So hopefully all 6'3" and 210 pounds of him are great tests. this
Amen to that. I think I only had I think you could take a trip out to Mary Lane. Speaking of Sam Howell, I think Sam could play. I was kind of sad we traded him away,
but it wasn't good enough for here in Washington. I think he needs more time to develop.
I think the kid's confidence got broken, if I want to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. How would it not?
You're getting sacked 100 times. You're getting sacked around. Bro, receivers ain't creating separation. No offense. I love Terry and Hahn, but sometimes last year they got put in a seatbelt and they weren't going nowhere fast. They were in quicksand. Love both of them. I love Terry McLaurin. I love 17, okay? I love 17. Love you down. There was times last year when you getting put in a seatbelt. I hope it doesn't happen this year. I hope these guys actually create separation consistently and let Jayden do his thing. But
I think Terry honestly, they've been looking for that guy. Like Terry McLaurin, we know how great he is. But like, for instance, Washington, we need a deep ball threat, right? We haven't had a true deep ball threat in a while to really maximize, I think, Terry's talents. And so I'm hoping, Jayden Daniels.
Sam deep ball was a little weird last year. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, Terry is so great. And I feel like Terry probably feels disrespected because, when we talk top wide receivers, I feel like sometimes he's left out of that conversation, not intentionally, but it's because he's been playing here in Washington and he hasn't had the best quarterbacks, I think, obviously, to make him shine on that football field, right? So all that to say, I think I will say this. I think the ceiling for Jayden Daniels is high. I know there were questions about if he could slide, but we're talking about a guy who led the nation, folks, in total yards, throwing. This is a guy that we really hope can be more dynamic on the offense. I thought Washington's offense last year became predictable because they were limited. And so I think when you open it up, which hopefully Jayden Daniels will do, but I can't stress enough, the offensive line has to be good. The offensive line has to be good. I could say that a million times.
The offensive line has to be good. The offensive coordinator needs to be good too.
It does. It does. All of it just needs to
I don't know shade to EB, but oh my gosh, Lord. Actually, all shade.
Wait, is this Eric Bieniemy hate?
It's a little shade, man. A little too predictable last year. I can't lie to you. He didn't run the ball enough.
I don't know if it was just him. Like, I feel like last year, I think
the whole offense kind of.
We need guys to step up
at some point, but it was like, okay, so because I'm a season ticket holder too, so I go to every game. And I remember that Bills game very vividly. It was a 2-possession game for most of the game. And we refused to run the ball.
Oh, yeah.
We're down a million points. We're down 16 donut, 10 donut. Like, run the ball. Like, Brian Robbins was having 8 yards of carry, and he got 10 carries.
Yeah. When Washington left the run, it was never good because Washington, again, the ground and pound game was good in Washington. And especially when you have a quarterback who's under pressure, you got to run and even Brian Robinson, I'm glad you mentioned his name. He's one I'm hoping to expect more from this season. I hope the running.
I'm a big B-Rob guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they can run the ball well, look who we added to the running back, right? To the running back room. I mean,
I love Austin Eckler.
Yes, I think it's going to be exciting for Washington. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Washington. I mean, do we have the biggest names on the roster? Of course, no. But I mean, still, the guys that are here though can produce, and I really think they have put Jayden Daniels with hopefully some receiver wise. I think depth wise, once you get behind Terry McLaurin and Doxson, I mean, I think then you kind of start to have questions. I think the tight end spot is going to be interesting, right? We just drafted one, but I'm a believer in that. He's aging, but you know what I mean? I just think it's going to be interesting, right? Because now the Logan Thomas torch has been passed. So all that to say, I think Jayden Daniels, again, I think if protected and we can keep him healthy this whole season, I do think he has a promise to effectively produce for Washington's offense.
So are you predicting offensive rookie of the year for overall?
Slow down.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure we're on the same page.
I like Jayden Daniels. Because I still have questions again about the protection.
I got a question about the offensive line. I got a couple of questions about his arm talent too. Like, it's sometimes I see when you watch all 22s, it's like the ball sails a little too long.
But see, these are some of the next level now. Can be worked out. I think what's so special about CJ Stroud is he really just came out of nowhere. I mean, we knew he could play, right? But of course, playing the National Football League is a whole different ballgame.
Level.
Nobody was checking for the Texans. Nobody was checking for the Texans. And all of a sudden, he made the ashes rise, essentially. And that's what was so fun. So I think with a young quarterback, I don't like to put my expectations too high. Last year, everyone was telling me Sam Howell was the next coming, it felt like, of Jesus in football at the quarterback position. And I was like, hold up. I said the same thing. You all got to wait a minute. We haven't seen enough yet. And sure enough, I think he's still developing. And again, a guy I wish the best, but I think we have to stop with these high expectations. All the quarterbacks
after week 10 versus Seahawks, I was sold. I ain't gonna lie. I was definitely sold. 300-yard game, 3 touchdown passes, throwing clutch touchdown passes to unknown receivers. De'Ami Brown.
Another one that needs to step up.
Yeah, Mr.
That's why I said at the receiver position, I think there's actually some questions once you get past the starters.
Yeah, once you get past the outside guy. But it's one guy we drafted I like a lot. We'll get to that.
Who is this one?
So we're actually he was drafted in the 3rd round. So we'll get to the 2nd.
No,
round.
I didn't hear the name that you said.
I ain't say his name yet.
Oh, okay. We're hiding.
It's a guy I like, but
okay,
we'll get to him in the 3rd round. But that was day one in a nutshell. We drafted Jayden Daniels. I think he'll be really good.
Everyone should be excited. And let me tell you this, for people who are hating on Jayden Daniels, I really want to know who they wanted here in Washington. Like, how many times?
Some people wanted Drake May. Some people want JJ McCarthy. At the end of the day,
McCarthy in Washington would have been a disaster. I'm sorry. I just have to say that. That just wouldn't have worked.
I was in the whoever Adam Peters draft camp. I'm fine with.
So you're just trusting Adam Peters?
I'm trusting Adam Peters.
Well, that's
he built in San Francisco. He built it in Denver. He helped New England. Look here, all that man sees is winning. So I'm going to trust the winner. Okay, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to argue. I'm trust Adam.
That's the journalist job.
Adam. I'm just a YouTuber. I just make videos. Go, Adam. Make it happen, Adam. Make it happen. So I was in the whoever Adam drafts. I did think like Drake May as well.
He was best available. Jayden Daniels was best available. I mean, after Caleb was off the board, to me, it was no question, right? You get a Heisman.
He's a consistent number 2 quarterback. I can agree with that.
I think he's going to be phenomenal. I think, he will bulk up some, obviously gain more muscle. That will come with time. But the biggest thing, like I said, I want him to spread the field. I want Washington to have options again, and offensive play calling that can complement his talent. Again, our receivers and tight end in Washington. So I'm excited for it. And hopefully, like you said, hopefully Peter's got this one right, because Washington fans, they've been through a lot when it comes to the quarterback position.
We've been through RG3 ACL tear.
A lot of broken heartbreaks.
Do we want to keep Kirk? Do we want to keep Kirk and RP Dwayne Haskins? Seeing him flash late his rookie years. Oh man, this kid about to be him. He about to go crazy. And then Ron like, I ain't want to draft this fool. Get him out of here.
Yeah. And
his whole career went left. I felt so bad for that boy. They did that boy dirty. But no topic that's passed. New era. Someone that actually believes in the franchise quarterback this time. Actually wanted him.
You're using that F word strong, that franchise. I mean, you hope he's that.
Someone number 2.
You hope he's that
until he's not that.
He's that. But see, for me, before I can use that F word on anybody, it's like before I use the word friend even on anybody, I need your actions to speak louder than your words. So again, I like everything I like everything I'm hearing, but I need to see it for myself. So before I give that F word, Kelsey needs to see some real football played.
Okay, friend, I got you.
I'm careful with my F words.
Positive and negative. I'm dead. I love it. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that. Thank you, Kelsey. I'm glad you're gonna use that. That's hilarious. That was too funny. Be careful with your F words. That's a good
always
one.
lesson.
That's a good one, my friend. That's a good one for sure. Yeah, Jayden Daniels. Well, I guess self-presumed F-bomb quarterback for now. We'll see. You take a quarterback number 2, you expect him to be that. So
you hope so, but we've seen some go far. We've seen some not go far, right? So
Jamarcus Russell.
It depends.
Zach Wilson.
And
there was some number 1, number 2 picks, boy. That Bryce Young right now.
But to be fair, Bryce isn't in the best situation. Not saying
Bryce is in a really tough spot.
Not saying it should be as bad, but that's a tough one. That's a tough
situation. Yeah, that's a tough one. But it's starting getting better. They don't have just Adam Thielen trying to get the fountain of youth anymore. They got some receivers in there. I got your old country boy Xavier Legette playing for
and I want him to succeed. I really do root for young players and quarterbacks, but we also do have to remember, and Washington, let's be real, Washington is a hard place to play in, right? I mean, you have an avid fan base. This is a football town, right, that you're playing in, and you have fans that are thirsty for success. 4 wins last season. I mean, hopefully we can only win. Right? Hopefully we go up. Yeah,
we didn't win a game. We didn't win a game.
By division winners, it was bad. So hopefully, Washington.
We're getting blown out every week.
So it's a lot to play here. But if you can succeed here, you'll be loved here, right? It is just that, you will forever be loved here. Now, Washington is waiting to give some love to somebody at our leadership position.
Yeah. Every time we see a quarterback with some type of promise, see the guy? Is he really the guy? We have the guy now? Do we have him? Oh my gosh, we got the guy.
They're tired of being teased. They want the long-term relationship guy.
Yeah, they want the choir. They want to marry, not the choir. They just dating, as they would say. So let's get the comment section real quick. Shout out to Xavier. Thanks for talking about, bro. Appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you listening while you're on the bus. I very appreciate that.
Oh,
She's a very
nice. On
bright
the bus
spirit.
listening. So that's commitment. That's what we need from our quarterback, commitment.
Oh, yeah. You have a very bright spirit, according to Xavier, by the way.
I tried to. Thank you.
Ryan, what's good? What's going on with you? What's going on? One of no parts of Drake, man.
me and Brian are.
Some people wanted parts of him, man. But we got our guy, so it's fine. I don't know, how you doing? What's going on, T-Ho? How you doing, man? What's going on, bro? How you living? Oh my Lord. Oh gosh. I'm gonna rephrase this comment. You're a very beautiful young lady.
Thank you.
We're gonna keep it PG-13 on my channel, okay? Yeah. He might in New England. He might. We'll see. There needs some receivers over there if we start talking like that.
New England has
that New England wide receiver room don't look so hot. I ain't gonna lie, it don't. It just don't. Jayden Daniels, I was right. I was happy.
I'm glad people are happy about Jayden Daniels because they should be.
I'm happy Adam picked the guy he wanted. That's all I care about. Wherever you want to Adam, cool. But now we're into the second round.
I'm excited for Jayden Daniels. Like I said, if he bombs, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if he didn't pan out. To at least be solid. Like he might not be the superstar, but at least be like a consistent Pro Bowler. Like if you get that, I
mean, to me, Washington's minimum goal should be finishing at 500 minimum. If you won 4 games the season before, your minimum goal should be finishing the season at 500. Of course, your lofty goal, of course, which is every team's goal, is winning a Lombardi and hopefully seeing Washington and New Orleans. But, I'm a practical person, so I'm not going that far. Yeah. But I would just like to see Washington finish at the 500 mark.
Yeah, or close to it, 9-8, 8-9, something like that. Like you're going a game above 500, a game below 500. If you finish 500, it's weird. I don't know how we did that with a 17-game season. I don't know how you actually finished 500, 8-1. That was so weird. That made 0 sense. But you finished 8-9, 9-8. I'm completely fine with that. I completely agree with that, Kelsey. For sure.
Yes, success. Minimum bar of success.
Yeah. At least 8-9. 8-9, I can live with. 8-9 is fine.
Especially with a rookie.
Even 7-10, but you're competing every week. I can't argue with that. You win 7 games, but you're in every game.
But it has to be at least. I would say at least 8. Like you have to win at least double than 4, what you won last year. So like
at least 8
wins. At least
8 and 9. I'd say 8 and 9. 8 and 9 is fine. We can take 8 and 9. That's cool. Tuba Chat, what's going on? If y'all any small creators, go subscribe to Tuba Chat, help your channel grow. They're pretty good at that. Appreciate them. What's good, bro? How you doing? Thank you for having related birthday wishes.
Happy related birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Kelsey. Thank you for sure. It was 24 hours ago. Thank God. But yeah, so we're gonna move on from day one because we talked a lot about day one for a while.
That's what everybody was excited about, though. Everybody's excited about day 1.
Day two was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Got some controversy at the top of day 2. Our first pick was you get on my nerves, David. Go away. I see. Yeah, he's one of my co-hosts. I'll never show I do. Buddy. He's a Cowboy fan. We'll get to your Cowgirls.
Congrats to re-signing Zeke.
I know, right?
Dallas.
Old man. No knees. Get out of here. But we got to do that right now. I'm gonna be a Cowboy fan. Daggone Cowboy fan will come in here. That foolishness. But so day 2, we had a very controversial pick with the second round pick.
Yeah.
We drafted Johnny Newton out of Illinois, defensive tackle. Right. Where people wanted a receiver, people wanted a tight end.
Yeah.
People went, we need a corner. Why can't we do this? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Picked he backed up, trade him with the opposition. People don't like that. They're like, you traded the Eagles. Eagles. What? Done. Fetched 2 second-round picks in return, the 50th and 53rd pick, and they let them go up to 40 and get their guy that they wanted, Cooper DeJean. And then we drafted our guys, and Ben Sinnott and Mike Samerstill in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted a receiver I talked about, Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's little brother.
Yeah,
The
ooh,
third
that
round, the
last one
100th
is a lot
pick.
to live up
Yep,
to.
yeah, the last pick of day 2, and then 67 we drafted Brandon Coleman, which is high tackle slash guard, like
Yeah.
plays both, like plays everything but center. I but
Nice.
what are your thoughts on day 2, especially the Johnny Newton pick? I know that was very controversial. A lot of people were
Yeah.
very pissed off about it, and were like, "Why we didn't get this? Why we get a corner?" Da 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 da.
Well, let's be honest.
McKiffy was right there.
No
This
one
guy
leaves
was here.
the
That guy
draft.
was here.
No one leaves the draft like, yes, all of my wishes have come true, right? You're never, any NFL draft, you're never going to do that for your team just because, I mean, obviously, we all think differently. You know, I think for me, going into the draft, I had 3 things I wanted for Washington. One, obviously, was a quarterback. You can't go anywhere if you don't have a leader. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has taught us that time and time and time again. You know, I think 2, I wanted secondary help. Washington needed secondary help. Washington, for one, is one of the last teams to finish in takeaways, right? I like interceptions and things like that on my defense. And I like a defense that can stop people. I think secondary-wise, you know, there were teams that were able to get, again, too deep against Washington. There was receivers who thrived, who ate good against the Washington defense. I wanted secondary help. And then third, I wanted some linebacker help. Those are kind of my biggest thing. Oh, and then fourth, I had 4 wishes. Obviously, the offensive line. Offensive line. I don't need to say much about that because we all saw what happened to Sam Howell. All in all to say, I know there was people, you know, the Newton one.
All turnstiles of Charles Leonard Jr. and Andrew Wiley, but yes.
Ooh, yes. You know, I think the Newton one, obviously, people were looking like, hey, okay, so y'all have Daron Payne, you have Allen, you know, Payne just got paid his money. Lots of money, by the way, right? Nice shoot,
$90 million, not of money.
So I think that's what people were saying. And then interestingly enough, I think Newton too, if you look at him, I think, you know, he's undersized. I think people were really like, wait, what is, and then also if you really look at Newton's background, you're hoping that he's going to be fully healthy, right? He had a slight foot fracture. We didn't really, I think, get to see everything at the end of his season in college. So all that to say, I think it was interesting, but what I think they're doing is they're building for the future. You look at what's left with Jonathan Allen, right, coming up. And I think Commanders are like, hey, I mean, maybe now is the time to build. Not saying it's the right thing, but I think that was what their mindset is. You know, again, because again, you just paid Payne a lot of money. So I think they're really thinking, you know, what does the future you know, look like? You think about who he's going to be competing with snaps with, you know, with like Mathis. And I think it's going to be really interesting. But, I don't think I would have picked him as high. But obviously Washington, you know, they felt away. Am I pissed about it? No. But I would have used it differently. I think, you know, going back to Mike, the cornerback position, small slot cornerback, like the fact that he's
the best slot corner in the class to me.
He's had interceptions. And again, Washington needed secondary help. So, you know, I thought that one made sense.
We need a nickel in the worst way. We didn't have a strong nickel corner.
Look, Washington needed that. So I think that was obviously just
2015, maybe, when we had Bashar Breeland in the slot for a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Now you're really
yeah. So you're talking like 10 years ago. We had an actual good slot corner. I like what I saw from Quan Martin toward the end of the season in the slot. He played pretty well, but I think he's more of a pure safety at this level. So getting a true nickel was great.
Yeah. Because you think about the secondary, you know, and lost Cam Curl, right? You know, I think Washington understands, like, you know, there was a hole and there was a need there. So I wasn't mad about that. Is he the biggest name? If you weren't watching college football, maybe you weren't as excited. Because again, after the first day, a lot of people who don't watch college football don't know a lot of these people.
I love Mike Sammer still. I actually had a YouTube short talking about him. I was like 3 months ago.
I think he's promising. I really think he has the high ceiling.
And he reminds me of Mike Hilton, the Bengals slot corner.
Yeah.
Probably the best slot corner in football. He plays like Mike Hilton.
You just gave.
He plays just like Mike Hilton.
That you're giving.
Yeah. Great instincts on the ball, good ball skills, jumps routes well. Very physical at the point of attack. Doesn't let people get free releases. He reminds me of Mike Hilton. Plays like Mike Hilton. That's what he reminds me of. And if you're getting a Mike Hilton, you're getting the best slot corner in the game, and that's beautiful. So I love the Mike Sammer.
Washington needs all the secondary help that they
can get. That last secondary, last year, girl. Woo!
Because guess where Washington's passing defense was last year, you all? Bottom last. Yes. 32 out of 32. So Washington needs
Tyreek Hill had a good old time. AJ Brown had a good old time baptizing Mr. Emmanuel Forbes. I call him AJ Brown the third on this channel until he gets his name back. I'm sorry,
I
AJ
mean,
Brown
it
is
was
fine.
really just bad for Washington. I mean, literally the worst defense in the league last year. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Washington can only go up. So to me, like anybody was an addition. And then who else did you say? Okay, the second. Oh, the tight end, Ben. I think tight end was obvious. I mean, like I said, we know Logan Thomas, Aaron Dunn, and I think that one didn't really end how it should have ended. You know, I would have loved to see Logan Thomas more involved last season, but obviously there were some things that prevented that. Again, we kind of talked about the offense, but we talked about Zach Ertz. I actually think Zach Ertz is one of the most underrated people. I know people are talking about his age now, but to me, I love a veteran. Tight end is interesting. I think tight end has been proven, especially now that, like, you know, it is a position that if you take care of yourself, you can be played a long time. Like, I feel like Travis Kelsey is going to play for a very long time.
3 years, at least.
Mark Andrews, because we have such talented tight ends, you know, the best of the. So I think Zach Ertz is underrated, but because he is older, and I think at the other part of it, you know, the other young tight ends in Washington, you know, you look at John Bates. Bates can be used as a blocker, and you know, I think, but I don't
Turner, Hermione Rogers,
right? But I don't think any of them really lived up to the full tight end expectations in terms of being a catching tight end in Washington. So I thought that one again was smart when you're looking to build up a position. So I wasn't mad at the second day in Washington, but like I said, I think I had some needs that I would have put a little bit higher for Washington. But, you know, Ben was actually good because when you look at it, many people had him as the second best available tight end at that time. So really you consider, I guess, Washington.
Yeah, it was either him or Jatavion Sanders. It was kind of the debate there. You picked a more athletic, like, look type of guy, Jatavion, or more of the inline looking, fullback looking tight end than Ben Sinnott. But however you want it, it was 2A, 2B. Like, you couldn't really go wrong.
And he has the size. I mean, y'all.
6'4", 250 is a pretty
size that you want. I guess, again, what do we need in Washington? We need to protect Daniels. So I love somebody that you can use in multiple ways.
My only thing with Ben Sinnott that I think he needs to work on is being more of an inline tight end. He's like more of a fullback type of guy. Like, he has to get a running start to block on people and stuff like that. But he can get better with, like, just being inline and actually blocking someone. I think he'll be great because
it's going to be needed, and that's
what Washington's
doing anymore. With him on, because that's what Washington.
Can't tell me running or throwing.
But I wasn't mad. Like, I understand again why some Washington fans. I'm not giving Washington an A+. I think I had Washington at a strong B at the end of this draft, maybe in a B-. But, you know, again, I think they at least went in with a plan for their needs and tried to find the best way to address. But again, with who they could get, with who was the best fit. It's funny you said the McCaffrey pick. I understand it. I know he has experience with the McCaffrey family, and I'm talking about Peters. But it was still interesting to me because, again, when I'm thinking about Washington, like, outside of, you know, Scary Terry, I think everybody else kind of has something to prove.
Yeah, Jahan does have something to prove.
And I like Jahan Doxson. Let me tell you, if you go to my Twitter, I tweet every time he has a good game. I tweet he's a stud. But the problem, again, is I think we want consistency at that wide receiver.
Jahan, I'm a Penn State fan, so I watched Jahan in college.
Well, I went to Maryland, so we won't talk about Penn State.
Respectfully. Well, again, I was born in Pennsylvania, so
you can talk.
I understand. I understand. It's fine.
But
I'm not mad at you.
I still think, though, that Luke, like I said, I think he is promising, you know, has size. You know, it is interesting, you know, if you really know his story, you know, it's wide receiver's position he switched into. So the fact that he actually got drafted in that, you know, I think is obviously impressive. But, you know, you're thinking about Brown, Dax. I mean, there's other people that I'm really interested to see, you know, who develops kind of that the top slot essentially.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Well, Luke McCaffrey, well, first off, I did have a preference at the 100th pick. Let me state this first and foremost.
Okay.
This is bias. I personally want Troy Franklin. I wanted Troy Franklin at the 100th pick. I wanted an outside guy. I want to move Jahan to the slot. That's how I felt. I want to move Jahan inside because I saw when Jahan got moved inside, he was working people.
Yeah.
When he was outside, he was a little quiet. So I'm like, okay. Saw a little sample size in the slot. Let's make that more of a permanent thing. They drafted Luke McCaffrey. I said,
that's the one I was more like. That's the one I was more like. But I think
Franklin, no.
I feel like it's because I think Peters knows that McCaffrey, obviously because his background, knows that McCaffrey family and probably feels like he can build up. But that was when I was more like scratching my head, like questions about.
When I watched more Luke McCaffrey tape, I understood it more. I was like, okay,
He's not a bad player, but I just still feel
this
like
kid's a slot machine. Like he's literally a slot machine. This kid's crazy. He's fast enough. He's tough as
promising,
nails.
but I'm not sold yet. He has to prove some stuff to me.
Yeah, I can respect that for sure. I can
But I'm
definitely.
rooting for him. And like I said, he has high expectations just from the last name alone, right, to live up to. But
Yeah.
Washington, I think when you think about, again, Jayden Daniels, his success is going to be pertinent around obviously having good people to throw to, right? And guys, again, I think Washington, again, consistency. Terry cannot do it alone. Terry McLaurin cannot do it alone.
He cannot be a one-man show.
Because everybody knows what they're going to do to Terry, because Terry's a threat. That means other guys are going to have to step up. And whether that's the wide receiver or whether that's Brian Robinson coming out the backfield and being able to be a pass catcher, like it's just going to have to watch.
My man, Son love that pick. He loved the Luke McCaffrey. I like it. I don't necessarily love it either.
I wouldn't use the word love.
I'm leaning to where Kelsey is. I do like Luke McCaffrey. Think play.
I was lukewarm on it.
That's a good one. Lukewarm. You're hilarious. Lukewarm. That was pretty funny. Right. Appreciate that. Poor Ben St. Juice. Oh my gosh, when you start with Ben St. Juice, though, don't get me started with him. I have a nickname for him as well. I call him Ben St. Groupie. He can't keep his hands off men, so he keeps his hands off people and actually cover people. He can have his name back.
After that.
My man's two hands. He like grabbing people like this and this and grabbing helmets. Like, bro, get your hands on people. Gosh, it's 5 yards. It's not no more hands, but he can't cover a soul, so he got to put hands on people. So it's what it is. Yeah, I completely agree with the Luke McCaffrey thing. What's your thoughts on Brandon Coleman, the tackle guard, the Swiss Army knife? We call him next. I don't know where he's going to be at the next level.
I think that's fair to call him. Obviously the size I love. Definitely need that, because I think that was the one that was more so, again, addressing what Washington needs right now. You're thinking about protection for Daniels. You're looking at someone who has started and actually played that position for a while, which I absolutely love, right? Because there's that consistency and I think that growth in that. And I think you're looking for somebody who can be disruptive and be, again, just someone who, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I feel like I wouldn't say he stands out, but he does the job that's needed. And I think that's what Washington has needed. Because again, Washington needs consistency. I think that's the word that I've been not able to use in Washington.
What's that acronym I'm looking for? POMMON, proficient at many, master of none. That's exactly what Brandon Coleman is. He's like very proficient at everything but playing center. He's not a master at one.
People keep looking at that left tackle spot, right? That has been, again, question marks around. And I think
since we trade the best left tackle in football, I know my business.
Don't go there. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So I think you have somebody, again, that, like you said, you can move around. And I think he's going to get the job done. So I think this is somebody who can hopefully build upon. And so this was the one that I was like, okay, Washington got this one right. Again, looking at the needs from last season and really being like, okay, what can we address now?
Facts. Completely agree with that one. So you like day 2 overall. You kind of was a little controversial with the Johnny Newton pick a little bit, but you were like, okay.
I was fine with that one. I think the McCaffrey one was the one I still like, because I want to see how he, transforms over.
Yeah, how he translates to the game, how his game translates.
Coleman, again, he can block. I mean, like I said, size, power, pretty athletic for that size too. Like he's one I'm actually like
very athletic.
That's when I was more like, okay, Washington. Like, all right, y'all saw the needs and y'all wanted to check something off the box. So that one made me, I think, more excited.
Okay. So you're the first one I heard about that one. Like everyone's like, I think
more promising.
They love the Johnny Newton pick, or they love the Mike Samerstill. Like I love the Mike Samerstill pick.
But they needed that. That was another one needed. Yeah. I think McCaffrey's the one I'm more like.
You're kind of like, is he going to translate to the next level?
I hope he does, though. Believe me, look, covering Washington as a journalist, Washington's so much more fun to cover when they're good. It's hard to cover a team that is, because there's only so much you can say each week, when they're losing. So
yeah, it's like he lost again.
Love happier times in Washington.
More turnovers, more this. Okay, whatever. There's nothing to talk about anymore. I'm tired of this. When you're winning, it's like, ooh, this happened. This guy stood out. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, and then back to Luke McCaffrey, we get to day 3. That's going to be a very interesting wide receiver room. Who makes this team?
besides Terry and Hahn, it's a crapshoot.
That's what I'm saying.
Luke McCaffrey's gonna make the team.
Very interesting. Yeah, the wide receiver battle is actually one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Yami, you got Dax Milne in there trying to fight for a roster spot. Mitchell Tinsley, undrafted free agent from last year that showed some promise in last preseason. It's a lot.
Mitchell's one that a lot of people
don't. Crowder. It's a lot going on in that room. It's a lot.
That's going to be interesting with the experience of young guys, vets. Like it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top. But that's such an important position again when you look at a young quarterback who needs consistent receivers.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure. A majority of our free agency dollars and majority of our top 50 picks were for defense. That defense better be top half of the league this year, or my confidence in DQ and Joe Witt Jr. will be shaken. Yeah, that defense might be vastly improved.
But the good thing about Joe Witt, because they were last, I mean, he literally only has up to go after last season.
And he's done a lot. He's done a lot with little. Like we saw with Dallas last year. Trayvon Diggs gets hurt. Deron Bland leads the league in pick sixes and breaks freaking records.
Wild.
Stephon Gilmore revives his whole career. Like we didn't know what's happening to Stephon Gilmore. Like, hey,
that's what we're hoping he brings to Washington. Like, because I don't think Washington had a defensive identity last year. I don't think they did, and I think this hopefully Witt is able to bring that to Washington.
No, actually, Kelsey, they have an identity. It was
bad.
It was get cooked. It
was to embarrass us.
Get cooked. That's what I didn't get cooked every week. Like, terrible. Like
I think defense
fight the sacks and shit that doesn't matter and get cooked. Like that's what he did. Was like
defense is actually the sacks
most useless situations.
It was rough. That's what I'm saying. So I think he only has up to go. But I feel like when you look at the draft overall, people are not bashing the Commanders. Like I feel like they do think there's promise, and I really think when you look at the NFC East, like the Commanders have made it more interesting because nobody was checking for the Commanders.
You made a nice segue there. You made
last
a nice segue
year. Like so Commanders. I think they're under people's radars, but I think a 500 season is in reach.
Yeah. 8 and 9-9-8 sounds fair. That does sound fair. I'll be happy with a 9-8 season. I'll be very happy with that. But to segue to the rest of the NFC East. So I found their draft classes to be very interesting, especially the Philadelphia Pigeons. I'm not calling them a name. Sorry, they don't deserve a name on here. All right, let me stop being mean. The Eagles. And the Cowgirls, and the Giants. So I don't know if you were keeping an eye on their draft classes or kind of keeping an eye on what they're doing. If it's one thing that you saw that stood out to you between these teams, if it's something that you really liked about what they did, we don't really like what they did. We can't stand it. What's something that stood out to you?
So I will tell you, I haven't had a chance to follow as closely all the NFC East teams because Washington has been my main beat and everybody has been on me about Washington and somewhat Baltimore. But I will tell you from what I've seen and heard and some people in the business, it seems like the Eagles are, again, going to be – I feel like the Eagles kind of have check marks. Like to me, it seems like in the NFC East, the Eagles have gotten some check marks. I think overall, the Steelers – I know this is outside of our division, but the Steelers were the team that a lot of people felt like, okay – Back to the Steelers way. But I feel like the Eagles, again, I think they are going to be the team to beat in this division. I know. And I think their draft class, again, just helps. I mean, first off, that the signings that they were able to do prior. I mean, the Eagles, again, are a team.
Saquon Barkley's not fair.
I mean, it's so all in all to say, I feel like the Eagles, they get it. They just get it. And that's who, but you know what? I think that gives Washington a bar again to say, okay, this is the team to beat. And, this is what we need to do. So all in all, I think Eagles fans are at least, somewhat, they feel safe. I'll say they feel safe, going into.
Agreed. I like what they did early, like them getting Quayon Mitchell, Toledo corner. I've been doubling back and getting Cooper DeJean after we traded with them. That's why everybody got mad about it. So
the Eagles get it. They get it. They had a plan.
They said 2 old corners, and they said, let's get younger.
They're thinking about the future. They are thinking about the future. And then even right? I mean, so all in all, that's what I say. I think the Eagles, if I had to look at anybody, I think, and again, they were already the team to look at prior to the draft. But I think after the draft, I think the Eagles, they understood the assignment.
They had the best roster.
They went in standing on business. They went in standing on business and kept that business. So.
Facts. Would not disagree with that. I think they definitely improved their roster a lot.
which they didn't need to improve it anymore. It's already good enough, but whatever. That's what Howie does. That's what we're hoping with Adam Peters would continue to do for us, what Howie does for the daggone Pigeons. As for the Giants, obviously getting Malik Neighbors is crazy. That kid's an absolute stud. He's going to be a stud next level. The kid is like Odell Beckham and
just
Steve Smith Sr.
special.
They had a kid.
But see, that was the other thing that Daniels just had. I mean, look at who he was able to throw to in college. Like he knows what it is to throw to superstars.
7th pick overall, 6th pick overall. Neighbors, like
it's nice. But the Giants were interesting too. Because again, people were looking at that quarterback spot, right? So I think the Giants have shown us like Daniel Jones is going to be the guy that we trust. Moving forward. Can't
wait to play them.
However people feel about that, that's what the Giants, I feel like, essentially said.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have a choice. They gave him all that money. Like,
they did, right. So, look, we paid you, and now we want you to play. Play your heart out.
We want you to play well and stop getting hurt and
stop
doing dumb crap. Like, stop throwing inadvised interceptions.
But the quarterback, the quarterback slot has been so interesting. Like you talked about Zach Wilson earlier. I mean, so many teams I feel like have been in predicaments. It's just a spot you have to get right. It's hard, but you have to get it right.
You have to get it right.
Because probably the happiest person today was quarterback Patrick Mahomes, right? When he saw Travis Kelsey get that extension, because it's like, dang, like literally, you're doing your job, but then now your most reliable person now also gets to stay with you and continue to do their job.
Yeah. Fact that they're getting better too. Getting Xavier Worthy is not fair.
Kansas City
the rich get richer. It's ridiculous.
Pretty much. Kansas City once again.
And the Buffalo Bills allowing it to happen. So, here, you want Xavier Worthy, you can have him. I don't care. We don't care about
the Bills off season has been very interesting.
They're doing stuff on Diggs away.
They're going to be so interesting to watch. Josh has a lot.
Allen, are you really him, or was it Stephon Diggs?
Has a lot to prove. It's going to be fun watching Buffalo.
We're going to find out very soon in a couple months. But yeah, this definitely was a very interesting draft for the Commanders overall, and the rest of the division did some good things. Cowboys had a very interesting class. Them drafting Tyler Guyton over someone else that they could have drafted earlier.
Cowboys fans probably aren't the happiest right now.
They're not. Re-signing
maybe
Zeke.
Getting Zeke back, made some people happy, but before that,
I don't know why that would make anyone happy. The man averaged 40 yards a game last year. I don't know what he's going to bring to you. He's not going to bring production. I know that. Like, I don't know what they're expecting from Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. I'm happy they're imploding in front of my face. I don't care. I'm happy. I don't care. They had to give it all these players to get on their cap. They got to pay CD. They got to find a way how to pay Dak. Got to pay Micah. They got some things to figure out.
Jerry's busy in Jerry's world.
Yeah, Jerry's world is very, very very interesting. I don't know how you're going to pay all three of these players, but you better figure it out, because if you lose one of them, it's tough to replace. It's tough to replace that production from CeeDee Lamb.
That part.
It's almost impossible to replace a Dak Prescott. Well, not almost. It's almost.
They always play with them, I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. You going to throw Trey Lance out there? I don't know. Figure it out. But and Micah Parsons is a dog. I would love for him to come over here and be a Washington Commander. Come back home to Dan Quinn. Come on. Come home. Come home to your best friend.
And Dan Quinn, we trust.
And Dan Quinn. And DQ and AP, we trust. But is there anything else you want to say, Kelsey, before we wrap up the show?
No, this was a blast. Obviously excited for the next portion of, following these guys and seeing, what they're able to offer. And of course, eventually getting down to that final roster in Washington. But, draft is always a fun time. I really do love, watching dreams come true. I was talking this about the other day. I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard to get to the National Football League. Even today, it's been so fun to see these undrafted guys, getting signed.
Sam Hartman and those other guys.
Yes, those stories just make you so happy. So, for me, it's been an honor and privilege to, get to cover this game that I so love. And I hope Washington gives me something exciting to cover the season. But also, I think really quickly before I go, I will say this new ownership, I think they have restored some trust and the front office, trust that was long lost and long people feeling like they're betrayed. So I do feel like people overall feeling like they can get back on this Washington train, back on this bandwagon, and get behind, what is our mascot, a pig, whatever the new guy is, get behind this new mascot.
Get behind Major Tutty.
There we go, Major Tutty. I think everyone is ready to Tutty, and
everyone's hanging out with Tutty now. I think it's fine. I completely agree with that. If we get out of here, fight Josh Harris and this ownership group has really done some good things, and hiring Adam Peters puts a lot of people with a lot of trust. We see all he win.
Somebody who's done it,
yeah. All he does is win. So that put trust in you. Like, okay, he bringing in guys that all he knows is win. So we should be getting to winning very soon. And drafting Jayden Daniels and the draft was solid. I would say a B. I completely agree with that B minus.
Yeah.
Really solid players, really solid fits. And I think we're ready. I think we're gonna be ready to go. I think we're a team that people should be keeping their keen eye on. I'm not saying we're gonna go win no Super Bowl.
Why don't you think maybe a sleeper? What do you want them to
do? Yeah. But hey, I would not be surprised if we're the 7th seed in NFC when playing a playoff game. I'll leave it like that. I would not be shocked. I'm not putting my money on it because that'd be stupid, but I won't be shocked at all. I would not be shocked. But where can they find you at, Miss Nelson? And we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show.
Yeah, so everyone can follow me on social media, The Real K Nelson. Follow my work on my website, KelseyNicoleNelson.com, which links to all of my work on LinkedIn, on Facebook. It's just Kelsey Nicole Nelson. And I look forward to connecting with you all. Love talking and chopping up sports with sports fans. So bring it my way. And then you can check out everywhere you'll hear me in and out of the area. So I'll be talking all things football. And like I said, in NBA playoffs for my basketball folks and baseball as well now. And then of course getting ready for WNBA
right now. I don't want to talk to NBA.
Oh, I know. If you're a Wizards fan, I'm sorry.
No. I'm a Sixers fan. I don't want to
talk. Then yeah, I'm sorry too.
I don't want to talk. Before I get home, I don't want to talk. But it's fine. We can talk about the other teams.
But I talk about it all. Happy.
Okay, fine. I'll listen then. I'll listen to the other stuff.
I'll let you know easy. But yeah,
you're hilarious, Kelsey. You're so hilarious. But thank you, Kelsey, for coming on tonight. I very appreciate it. We'll definitely. This won't be the only time. So I'll definitely look forward to chopping up with you again. Maybe training camp or something like that. We'll plan it out, something like
Thanks
that.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. You guys have a great night. Like, comment, subscribe. Go follow Kelsey on all the social media platforms she has. Go listen to the Fox Sports Radio. Do all that, please.
Yes, check out Listen to CNN.
Support this wonderful young lady, okay, and her sports dreams, please. I very appreciate that.
Bye, guys.
And be respectful if you're not going to flirt with her, okay? Don't be saying, damn, she fine. Say some other respectful things. Damn it. So, you guys be easy. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye, guys.